I'm Leanna Chamish.
And I'm Brian St. August.
And welcome to the Actors Hot Tub, where we two actors do what we love, talk about acting and the acting business in an intimate setting like we're sitting in a hot tub.
Yes. And Leanna, I was just wondering today if because most actors tend to start out this way, what do you think the pros and cons of doing extra work are?
Oh, that's an interesting question. It definitely can change at different points in your career how you feel about it. I've done it, and starting out in my career, I have to say it was very interesting to get to see large sets, to do a little stargazing, see famous people, and meet a lot of folks that I could socialize with on set, and the food's not bad too. But I also have to say there are some very difficult conditions that extras are expected to undergo. You have to deal with extremely long days in some cases, and often they will expose you to extreme heat or extreme cold, and you do have to bring your own outfits, and those are some of the drawbacks of doing extra work. But I would say the plus is getting some experience on set, seeing how things are done, and seeing some stars.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to get to know the business early on, to understand what the commands are on set, to understand when cameras are rolling, when people are moving. Things like that are very important. Also, not looking into the camera. It depends, on what the particular call is for the extra job. I think to go with the long days, the other aspect that is not particularly fun is a lot of time you're not doing anything, where you're sitting and waiting for the principal actors to carry out the scenes that they're shooting before you're called. But all in all, as far as learning the business, it's a great way to do that. And I think most people have done that to some extent. You said you did. You started the business that way.
I did. It was fun. And you know what? The downtime isn't always necessarily a minus. I saw people that would bring decks of cards and games, and they would socialize with each other, and it seemed to be like a club of people that do extra work all the time, and they had a good time with it. Maybe they were retired, or they just thought it was a hoot to do it. And you were telling me that in some cities, you can actually have a professional corps of extras.
Yes, and I think that LA is a great example of that. But for a long time in Baltimore, Washington, Philadelphia, New York, there was a studio movie being shot almost any time of the month. And if you're a person who was doing extra work and enjoyed traveling to do it, you could essentially be working every other day on a project. In LA, you could pretty much do that almost any day because there are that many projects going on. If you're an extra that enjoys doing extra work, it's a really great professional thing to do. The choice point that you have to make is if you are not somebody who wants to be a full-time extra, how do you decide when to stop doing that and put yourself in a situation where you're more available for principal roles?
Right, and there's always the long shot that you'll be one of those extras who is blessed with getting some lines. I've seen it happen, and all of a sudden somebody said, "You say this line," and you get your union card. So it can happen. It's a long shot. I don't want everybody to think lightning will strike, and that's a reason to do it. But you were telling me that there's also a risk with doing extra work, that your management will only view you as an extra and maybe not give you acting roles that come across the breakdowns?
Well, I think the risk is that it's not so much your management, it's your agent.
Okay.
Because even with extras, there are agents that specifically manage or cater to extra work. And if you are submitting to opportunities through them, or they're submitting you for opportunities, they will continue to do that for extra jobs. And there may be a perfect casting, what did you say it was called? Breakdown that comes through that has Leanna's name on it, as far as her skills and her look and everything. But that agent that's really looking more for extras probably won't even think about her and won't submit her for it. So you have to be very careful when you decide that, I think I'm really moving more now toward principal work, that number one, you choose agents that are going to be casting for that so you can be submitted for it. And second, that you have to start to maybe shut down some of your extra opportunities. Just because the more that you do it, the more you get known for that, and the less you get known for your principal opportunities.
Yeah, well, I have to say, when I go to a movie, I look at the extras. I know what those people have given up to be there that day, and I like to see how extras sometimes make a scene their own. There are a lot of interesting things going on. So, although extras are sometimes referred to as walking furniture or atmosphere artists or other strange euphemisms, I really love it when I see an extra putting themselves into it and doing something really interesting.
I worked 14 days on the Nicole Kidman movie, The Visiting.
Yeah.
It's a horror science fiction movie. 14 days. And in watching the movie, I didn't even see my shadow. So there's no guarantee that for what you shoot as an extra that you'll necessarily, be seen. Although sometimes, as Leanna said, the director might say, you have a great look. Would you mind trying this line? And before you know it,
Yeah.
you owe SAG quite a bit of money.
Oh, that's true.
Because being tapped heart lead, as they say, being made immediately into
right.
a union member, doesn't mean you don't have to pay, and you do. So. But it's for the better of the industry.
I love seeing people I know when they're extras, and it also, if you're an extra, it gives you an insight into the making of a movie. So when you go to it, you say, oh, I know how that was done, or I remember that day, and that was kind of cool, but I just don't do very much of it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, audience, have you been an extra? Would you be an extra? What do you think about doing extra work for money or just for fun and meeting folks and for the potential of someone saying, I want you to say that line? So please let us know in the comments below what you think.
Sounds good. We'll look forward to your comments.
Please subscribe to our channel and we'll see you again in the hot tub.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.